Iran's economy may shrink 9 to 10% this year, the worst fall since the Iran-Iraq war, as US sanctions cut Iranian oil exports and Trump's trade war suppresses global trade and the oil price. As I said in May, Iran is at the Hunter S. Thompsonian age. There is no honest way to explain it, because the only people who really know where it is are the ones who have gone over. However, I wrote in that article, if the US thinks Tehran will just roll over, which appears to be the case, then they're exhibiting the same deluded ideas that they exhibited a day before the Peacock Throne got plucked. Trump has been a big proponent of coercive financial and sanction warfare, and its expression vis-à-vis Iran is its apogee. Consortium News, Trump's Persian-Gulf Car Crash. The coming collision in the Persian Gulf, the equivalent of a 100-vehicle pileup on a fog-bound interstate, has been in the works for years. The situation is explosive for two reasons. First, the Iranian economy is in free fall, with oil exports down as much as 90% from mid-2018 levels. As far as Iran is concerned, this means that it's already at war with the United States and has less and less to lose the longer the US embargo goes on. Second, after Trump denounced the 2015 Iranian nuclear accord, from the moment he began his presidential run, it's all but impossible at this point for him to back down. The result is a classic collision between the immovable and the unstoppable, with no apparent way out. How did the world bring itself to the brink of war? The answer, ironically, is by bidding for peace. Talking about the Obama-Hassan Rouhani peace deal and how Saudi Arabia felt very differently. And in response to that, the upshot was a proxy war in which the Saudis set out to roll back Iranian power by striking out at pro-Iranian forces. The offensive began after a new Saudi monarch ascended the throne in January 2015. King Salman, a doddering 79-year-old reportedly suffering from Alzheimer's, immediately handed over the reins to his favourite son, 29-year-old Mohammed bin Salman, whom he named Deputy Crown Prince and Minister of Defence. MBS celebrated by launching an air war in neighbouring Yemen 2 months later, and then disappearing on a week-long vacation in the Maldives, funneling hundreds of US-made TOWs to Syrian rebels under al-Nusra. For the Saudis, it was a neo-medieval crusade whose goal was to topple two religio-political allies of Iran, the Alawite-dominated government in Damascus and Yemen's Houthis. The upshot has been Saudi wars claiming hundreds of thousands of lives in Syria and another 100,000 or so in Yemen. And then saying, you know, Trump, when he announced his presidential bid, take a look at the deal he's making with Iran, he makes that deal, Israel maybe won't exist very long. Trumpian isolationism, which is very popular amongst a lot of people, was fleeting if it ever existed at all, which is my question. And basically saying the upshot of all this, consequences are unpredictable, US firepower is overwhelming, Iran is not without resources of its own, among them anti-ship ballistic missiles, mobile short-range rockets that can hit naval targets. They've been very bold, I've got to admit. Upshot could be a war drawing in half a dozen countries or more. A confrontation on that scale may seem inconceivable, but then war seemed inconceivable in the wake of Archduke Franz Ferdinand's assassination in June 2015. In June 1914. Wow. I wrote about that peace treaty on the 28th of October in an article I called Barack Obama and Hassan Rouhani, the two Husseins. And in that I said, if the Pax Americana in the Middle East were a three-legged stool with the US the most important leg, Israel and Saudi Arabia, I said, are the other two legs of that stool. At that time, I said, neither Riyadh nor Tel Aviv are aligned with President Obama's Iranian rapprochement, and Saudi Arabia in particular has become increasingly forthright and is even threatening its own pivot away from the United States. 13th of November 2017, writing about the 30-year-old Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia, MBS, I said he arrived on the scene and immediately launched an unwinnable war in the Yemen. He is, of course, the alleged owner of Leonardo da Vinci's Salvator Mundi, which is a painting of Christ as Salvatore Mundi, savior of the world.